Sports presentation. Week 5 in the NFL. Pull up the easy chair and get out the snack tray. Since we're taking prisoners, they eat when we tell them to. The NFL on Fox. The Vikes hope to be giant killers today in Jersey. Minnesota's 4-0 thanks to the locksmith. But it's the fourth quarter where the Purple Boys make you pay. Meanwhile, the Giants are on a roll, because even just one is more fun than none. Today in Tampa Town, the Lions will try to tangle up the helpless Bucks. If Mitchell airs it, Morton snares it, while Barry keeps roaring. It's an animal house as the Panthers and Jags party hardy. Carolina's ready to play with the big boys, and Lamar is showing he's all business, while Jacksonville's got the league's top gun in yards. The Saints and Ravens battle in Baltimore. For New Orleans, Haywood and Haynes are happening and hot. Baltimore needs Vinny T to rave on. The Rams and Cards rumble in the desert. In St. Louis, they're banking on Tony to set Brucey loose. But Arizona says LaShawn, rush on and on. The Cheese Boys look to get back on track against the Seahawks. If Brett can find his man, Brooks will find the stands. And the Packers D looks to commission Commander Warren out to sea. The Falcons fly west to take on the Niners. George will be perched on the bench while the Niners resurrect Elvis, baby, cure their blues. So Jailhouse Jerry can rock the end zone. Now, live from the Fox Television Center in Hollywood. 4 guys with no sunglasses, but plenty of talent anyway. It's the one and only Fox NFL Sunday.
Week number 5 in the NFL, and it's time to start believing anything is possible. A second-year expansion team is undefeated and atop its division. The defending Super Bowl champs are reeling and at the bottom of their division, and a 39-year-old quarterback and his team are 4-0. Folks, it's all true, and it's all coming your way right here on Fox. And hello, everyone. I'm James Brown, welcoming you to another edition of Fox NFL Sunday. We thank you for sharing your day with us, along with my colleagues, Terry, Howie, and Ronnie. Hey, you were 3-0 last week. Ronnie was 1-1. But no one had a week as good as Big Boy here on set in Vancouver.
Yeah, they had me swinging in on a crane, parachuting into the trees, rode a motorcycle across a log, knocked a guy out with an axe handle, kicked another guy, and rescued the girl.
Well, what a great life you have. We don't do movies. We have to work for a living, don't we, Ron?
Its ugly head once again.
As much as he loves you, he had the nerve to ask you, did you have any lines this week?
Yeah.
All right, folks. Hit him! Here's a look at what's happening around the National Football League. And what's happening is the suspension of Atlanta Falcons starting quarterback Jeff George. Now, as most of you know, this argument on the sidelines last week went on for at least 6 minutes, and it was the catalyst for George's suspension. Now, the argument stemmed from George being pulled from the game after throwing an interception on a deflected pass.
Did he apologize?
I really don't want to comment on that right now.
You know, I'm trying to find out what you're feeling. You know, either, you know.
I'm hurt.
Yeah, I know you're hurt.
The hardest thing for me to take is that I won't be playing on Sundays.
Have you ever sat down, Jeff, and looked in a mirror and said, there's a pattern here to my life that I'm responsible for, and it's a negative pattern?
I see myself as a winner. You know, I never look at myself in the mirror and say, what if I did this?
Coach, do you feel like you're going to be fired because of all of this?
No. You know, if I do, you know, one thing about me, I don't worry about those things. I mean, I really don't worry about that. I do my job. I'm honest with the players. I know when I lose the players, then it's time for me to move on.
I will do whatever it takes to get on a team and play football on Sundays again. That's all I want. We
went to the playoffs last year. We are got a lot of good things going on, and we're doing a lot of the right things here for the first time. And those things will pay off as we survive this adverse situation.
And Jeff George is not going to be a part of it?
I would say right now, it doesn't look like he will.
Well, I was there. I sat down with both of them. 2 things are real clear. Number 1, Jeff George truly is hurt. June Jones truly is hurt. Jeff George feels as he has been betrayed by his head coach, thinking that management or the ownership has demanded Bobby Hebert to play. The point is, why the outburst for 5 to 6 minutes? It's because when you have felt a friend has betrayed you, the pain is much greater than just a quarterback head coach controversy.
Folks, time now for our Fox Watch, and for that we begin at the Meadowlands. The Minnesota Vikings looking to extend their perfect record today against the New York Giants. Our own Dick Stockton will be calling the action from the Meadowlands, and he's with us now. Good morning, Dick.
And good morning to you, JB. The Vikings with the best record in the NFC. No one figured this, and when you look at their defensive unit, Tony Dungy, the coordinator, gone to Tampa Bay. They lost Ed McDaniel, their outstanding linebacker, yet the defense has been one of the big reasons they're 4-0. Yes, a big play defense, including 7 sacks against Packer quarterback Brett Favre last week. What does that mean for the Giants? Well, Giant coach Dan Reeves said yesterday there'll be more pressure on the beleaguered and struggling quarterback Dave Brown today than at any point since he's been here, because he'll be forced to call audibles at the line of scrimmage, something the Giants have not done up to this point. As far as the weather is concerned, the Giants were hoping for wet weather like they had in beating the Jets last week. They're not going to get their wish. It's dry and the field's in excellent condition. That's the story here. Right now, let's send you down to Jacksonville and Kenny Aldo.
Thanks, Dick. 108 degrees on the field for the first ever regular season meeting between the NFL's expansion cousins of a year ago. Now, the Panthers have already had the upper hand on the Jaguars 3 times, dating back to October of 1993, when Carolina was awarded their franchise 35 days before Jacksonville. The Panthers then won the coin flip for the #1 pick in the 1995 draft, and they defeated the Jaguars in the Hall of Fame game last year, 20-14. Now, starting at quarterback once again for Carolina will be the former Jacksonville Jaguar Steve Berline. In relief of the injured Kerry Collins, Berline started 6 games for the Jacksonville Jaguars a year ago. Let's keep it now in the state of Florida and head southwest to Tampa. And Sam Rosen.
Thanks, Kenny. 3 weeks ago, these two teams met in Pontiac, Michigan, and the Lions beat the Bucs 21-6. But right now, the Lions are in a bit of disarray. On Friday, they signed their second first-round draft pick, Jeff Hardings, which means they had to free up some room under the salary cap, so they cut their starting middle linebacker, Michael Brooks. That means Pepper Johnson, who hasn't played all that much, will get the start this afternoon. More injury problems for the Lions on the outside. Antonio London is inactive. He's got a shoulder injury. So Tom Beer, who used to be a fullback, will get his first NFL start. Talk about injuries. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who've yet to win a game this season, have a lot of them. They're missing their starting left tackle and left guard. They've had to rebuild the left side of their offensive line. There's an interconference matchup going on in Baltimore. For that, let's go to Mike Breen.
Sam, the return of the NFL to the city of Baltimore continues. Ravens with their second home game of the season, hosting the New Orleans Saints, a team desperate for a win, and it's not going to be easy. Saints are all banged up, missing 4 key players, 2 on defense, Ronaldo Turnbull and Rufus Porter. Ray Zeller's on offense, and then J.J. McCleskey, one of the better special teamers in the NFL, he's also out. As for the Ravens, coming off a bye week, a bit healthier, but still some problems on the right side of the defense. Anthony Pleasant is out. Mike Frederick will take his place. Linebacker Mike Caldwell also will not play. Gerald Williams takes his place. And at right cornerback, Donnie Brady, his first NFL start for Isaac Booth, who's been struggling. You can count on the Saints going to that side throughout the game. Now let's go back to James Brown.
All right, Mike, doubleheader Sunday here. Most of you later on will see Atlanta at San Francisco. Green Bay will take on Seattle. Tony Banks will lead the Rams against Arizona. That will be coming later today. 8 teams have gone to backup quarterbacks as of today. 4 of them will be in our later games. One starter, Steve Young, feels he can play, wants to play, but is Gerbach getting the call? Why?
I think why is because we're starting another divorce. We talked about a divorce earlier. Now we have one with Steve Young. He's going back out there, trying to get back out there to play this week. They won't let him play. The problem that they have there is now Bill Walsh steps in. He wants to try to change the offense. Another thing that they got going on is Harris Barton is sore. They have Brent Jones out. They're having problems there.
This is a Fox Sports presentation.
The Dallas Cowboys, winners of 3 of the last 4 Super Bowls, have had to overcome much adversity this NFL season. But on Thanksgiving Day against the Redskins, Emmitt Smith broke out with a sensational performance, leading Dallas into a first-place tie in the NFC East. This week, one more major setback, and the Cowboys must now put another obstacle behind them as the playoffs approach. Today, they travel west to Arizona against Boomer Esiason and the Cardinals, who look to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. Sun Devil Stadium, the home of the Arizona Cardinals, as the Cowboys come to town to face the Cardinals. A December game when it's stretch run time and a must-win for both these teams. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And John, as these two teams approach this, what do they have to do?
Well, I think, as you say, you play the whole season to get to this position where you can make it a 3-game season. And that's exactly what the Cowboys are doing now. But they have to take these 3 games to defend their championship. And the way they're playing on offense now, they're not going to make it. I think they have to get back. They have to get a balance. They would have to have a running game like they did against the Redskins, a passing game like they did against the Miami Dolphins. As far as the Arizona Cardinals, they've lost 12 straight to these Cowboys. And they aren't going to do it with their running game. Their defense is pretty good. But if they're going to have any kind of chance today, Boomer Esiason has to have a big day passing.
Earlier today, prior to the national anthem, the entire NFL observed a moment of silence to honor the late commissioner, Pete Rozelle. And we'd like to share that moment with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this past Friday, former NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle died at his home in California. All of us will long remember his creative leadership of the National Football League and his interest in and service to NFL fans. At this time, we ask you to pause for a moment of silence in his memory.
Fox Sports presentation. It's week number 16 in the NFL, and there's nothing so weed about it. It's do or don't do time in pigskin land. Because a loss now, baby, can make your Bayou dreams vanish right before your eyes. It's the NFL on Fox. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the greenest of them all? Today we see, as the Eagles look to land the Jets by the swamp. Rayman doesn't need to be a Rhodes Scholar to know he has destiny within his grasp. And with Russian gushing waters and on fire fryer, Fightin' Philly has all the prime elements for a trip to the show. But yo, Adrian, Philly is Murrowstown. And don't the Jets got that Sherbert guy? Yeah, Trebek, whatever. While Keyshawn, he's playing for gangrene pie. Because when you're a Jet from the first loss you get till your last lousy day. Hey, guess what, Tricky Dick? That last day could be gaining on you. Anyway, now live from the Fox Television Center in Hollywood, 4 guys who know all about playing for dignity. It's a special Saturday on the one and only NFL on Fox.
It's week number 16 in the NFL, a crucial week for the 15 teams still fighting it out for the 6 remaining playoff spots. And we're kicking things off just a little early with this special Saturday edition of the NFL on Fox. Today, it's the Philadelphia Eagles needing victories in the last 2 weeks to ensure a postseason invite in the Meadowlands today, taking on the New York Jets. And hello again, everyone. I'm James Brown. Happy to have you alongside with us and welcoming you to the show. And joining me, as always, my partners, Ronnie Lott, Howie Long, Terry Bradshaw. Now, I know your mom, Novice Genoa, will call you handsome, but I have never heard anyone call you cute until yesterday when a fan said that Bradshaw is cute.
I can top that. I'm traveling around the country doing my many research pieces for Fox Sports.
That makes me want to throw up.
And I run into a grandmother from Oklahoma, Susie. And Susie, I said I'd say this on the air. She said, that Terry Bradshaw, he is highly intelligent.
Highly intelligent.
Highly intelligent.
Of course, I'm
Man, I can't believe that.
Hey, let it go, man. Highly intelligent. That works for me. Guess who I ran into the other day? Where? Santa Claus, all you kids out there, get ready. He's coming, got a big bag of stuff, too, man.
He's not coming to Europe.
Yes, he is. I know he is.
As a matter of fact, speaking of Santa Claus, we're going to do a little something involving Santa Claus or some of the byproducts coming up in the show. I know you guys will enjoy it as well. All right, folks, here's a look at what's happening around the NFL. Now, you figured when the 49ers lost to Carolina last Sunday, somebody would pay the price. Apparently, offensive coordinator Mark Trestman is the guy. Trestman, who has been offered the head coaching job at the University of Minnesota, won't be running the 49ers offense next season. Bill Walsh will be involved in the selection process, and one intriguing name is former Walsh disciple Sam Weiss. Now, Christmas came early for the Cowboys and their owner, Jerry Jones. The league and Jones settled their NFL properties lawsuits yesterday, with Jones retaining all the millions he earned in marketing deals with Pepsi, Nike, Dr. Pepper, American Express, and AT&T using the Texas Stadium logo. Now, the NFL, as you recall, originally sued Jones for $300 million. And early today, Steelers starting safety Darren Perry was accused of drunken driving by Pennsylvania State Police after being involved in a hit-and-run accident. Perry will be arraigned today and is expected to be released. Now, the Steelers have made no comment as to his playing status for tomorrow's game against the 49ers. Oh, and remember this? John Madden was definitely on the mark last Sunday. He predicted Deion Sanders would be fined for wearing Leon Lett's number 78 around his neck and on his wristbands while playing against the Cardinals. Yesterday, the NFL slapped Sanders, that is, with a $5,000 fine. All right, folks, time now for our Fox Watch, which takes us to the Meadowlands for the upcoming battle between the Eagles and Jets. Dick Stockton and Matt Millen will be calling all the action, and Dick joins us now. Good afternoon, Dick.
All right, JB, thank you very much. The Eagles and the Jets, and the weather is inclement to say the least. We have rain showers, a lot of wind, and it's even colder than the 38 degrees that we show you. And also we'll show you behind us a lot of empty seats because there will be oodles of no-shows today. Matt, this game, though, does carry tremendous significance for the Philadelphia Eagles. 8-6, and in the playoff hunt, they need the game.
Well, there's no question that they need the game. They needed it last week when they went down to Indianapolis, and they really played horrible. And so I was curious about that. I went down to practice on Wednesday to watch the Philadelphia Eagles to see just what their mindset was going to be. I got to tell you, that was as intense and tough a practice that I've been around for a long time. Howie, you know what? It reminded me of those Wednesday practices we had with the Raiders, where you just got after each other, you beat each other up, you worried nothing about what was going on. They need this game. Basically, what it all boils down to is if they win these next two games, they're in, regardless of all the other stuff that has to happen. They just have to play. On top of that, playing in today's stadium is going to be awful tough because there's nobody here. And these kind of stadiums and games have a way of kind of lulling you to sleep. They can't do that today.
And, of course, you wonder what the Jets have to play for with a record of 1-13, and we asked their beleaguered head coach, Rich Kotite, what this particular game against the Eagles today means to him.
Well, it's special. You know, we've had a poor year, and I think anytime you've coached someplace and you have an opportunity to play that team in the regular season, you have a lot of people also in the same boat as I am, coaches, and we have some players. It'd be great for the country, and a lot of people don't see the New York Jets to come away with a win when no one gives them a chance.
So, different impetus for both teams today. Right now, let's send you back to JB.
All right, Dick, thank you very much. And tell Matt that Howie thinks it might be reminiscent of a Villanova-Delaware matchup, huh?
We could fit that crowd in our stadium.
Oh, boy. Hey, look here, speaking of the Eagles and their difficulties, Terry, have lost 4 out of their last 5 games, including last week's 37-10 spanking to Indianapolis. What's happened to the Eagles?
You know, if you go back and look at their major upset, I think, of the Dallas Cowboys, JB, and you think to yourself as you observe it, you say, boy, they found the ingredient. It takes good defense to beat Dallas, takes good offense. They got it from their quarterback Detmer and Irving, Fryer, and Waters, all the guys that are having big years. But then they let it dissipate. They lost that edge. They lose close game to Buffalo in the last minute. They lose a close game to the Washington Redskins. And every time a young team loses close football games, even after a big victory, they all of a sudden the confidence slides with it. And the Eagles have lost a lot of their confidence, and they need to get it back. If they're even going into the playoff, they need to get that edge back. They can get it back today.
the only two teams in NFL that wear green today, Howie, and I would have to think that the edge that goes to the darker green are the Eagles.
Yeah, you know, the Eagles, and the funny thing is you can make a case for the Eagles not being as talented a team as the New York Jets. And I think, if anything, Ray Rhodes spoiled us last year with a great coaching performance. And up to this point, he's done a great job with the Eagles also this year. Their secondary hasn't played well. As Matt pointed out, they did not play well in Indianapolis. I talked to William Fuller. He's concerned the Jets throw the ball very quickly. They haven't had a pass rush. Andy Harmon's out. They're making multiple changes in the offensive line. It's difficult to really put a finger on what Eagles team will show up today. But you know, as Matt Millen indicated, Ray Rhodes has them barking at one another on Wednesdays and Thursdays. I'm sure this team will be ready to play.
It's funny that you say that. They're barking at one another. Opie, Depner came out, made a statement, try to get these guys fired up.
He's trying to take
said that. Oh, I mean, look, I can take him. Believe me, I can take him. Ty Depner had to step up and take that leadership role. He had to make sure that this team is focused, that they're prepared. And right, he said some things that maybe got the Jets fired up, but he had to take that role. And Ray Rhodes has got to be upset what happened to him in preseason when the Jets came out and blitzed him. So he knows that they're going to blitz him a lot today.
Real quickly about the Jets.
Jones had a big game in that preseason.
Big boy, you mentioned the Jets having some talent, especially offensively. I mean, is there any hope for them the balance of the way?
I think they need to blow it up. I think they need to blow
the whole organization,
the whole thing up. Yeah.
Quarterback included.
No, I mean from a coaching standpoint, from a front office standpoint, bringing a strong GM, strong head coach. Terry, you had a viewpoint on bringing him back to the old Shea Stadium.
Take them back to Shea Stadium. Get back on Long Island. You don't have a stadium. You don't have a home. Underneath that green bunting is painted red and blue. That's the New York Giants. Bunting. Go back. Get your own bunting. Go back and get your own home, your own identity. Get new uniforms. Get a new coach. Get a whole bunch of stuff.
The Oklahoma lady, boy, she's all a bunting, dissipate.
I did some reading this week.
Folks, time now to step aside, but we've got a lot more coming in today's program, including lucid comments from Terry. The Packers and Carolina are fighting for a home field advantage. San Francisco is trying to catch the Panthers. Can Washington turn it around and make the playoffs? Answers next.
Take it out right. Stop finally on the warning track. Second and 7. And Allen gets the fake. Barak gets the ball. Intended for Asher, incomplete. And here we go again.
Here we go to that third down. We got the two things going that have been frustrating both these teams today. We may not have it. I mean, that's the thing that frustrates these teams, is the penalty. But third down and in the red zone. I mean, if the 49ers take this penalty, it's going to be second down.
Number 77 on the offense. 10 yards. Still Greg Johnson called. North Turner doesn't have much gray hair, but he'll have some shortly.
Well, the thing that he buys by that is he doesn't have to go third down this play. I mean, he has this thing going. He's in the red zone. He's on the 20-yard line, but he has second down. He has 2 red zone plays to get the ball into the end zone.
Second and 16. That's Allen in motion. Barak back to throw. Touchdown. Fumble, but the signal went up. Touchdown already.
Maybe that was the best thing that happened to us, Pat, was getting that 10-yard penalty and putting him back, and then it put him in a different situation. And North Turner called the touchdown play.
Asher crossed the plane with the ball to the official signal touchdown. Then he fumbled.
Amy Asher got the touchdown. The band's playing Hail to the Redskins. Last year, this stadium, I tell you, it doesn't get much better than this.
Barak to hold for the extra point attempt.
Toilet paper out in the field.
Blanton is down the middle. 16-9 Redskins with the fourth quarter with 7 minutes and 28 seconds left. There's the old Redskin fight zone. to 9. Jamie Asher, who just scored the touchdown. His fourth of the year as he dived into the end zone, broke the plane, and the touchdown signal went up. Dexter Carter back deep. kickoff. Carter fields it at about the 6. And the Redskins are saying, we got it. Scramble still going on the field. The Redskins are signaling and jumping and saying we've got the ball, but we'll see.
Remember the last time Dexter Carter returned the kick right in front of the Redskin bench? He fumbled that one too and recovered his own fumble. I don't know that he got this one again.
Yep. The 49ers got it back. Well, let's see.
There have been some big hits on special teams today. Watch this one. I mean, when he comes in there, that ball just gets knocked right out of there. And, you know, you never know what goes on in the bottom of the pile. I mean, the last thing it looked like the Redskins had the football right in there. But once they start getting under there, and then by the time the officials get there, you have no idea. The ball could have changed hands 5 times.
And you never know what's being said. If you ever get choice cuts on what goes on in the bottom of one of those piles, you have something. Here's Young.
It would be a new definition of choice cuts.
Yeah. William Floyd makes the reception. About 5-yard gain. This game is presented by authority. The National Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Washington Redskins and the National Football League is prohibited. Kirby was the man in motion. Young back to throw it. Has to go down. He couldn't find anybody open.
They had good coverage out here in Terrell Owens. They had good coverage in the middle on Brent Jones. He was looking to the middle and the left. Here comes Jerry Rice. You see him coming across. He had him short, decided not to go there. He was trying to get deeper. He was trying to get out here to Terrell Owens. Carter has good coverage on Owens. Owens doesn't run much of a pattern. But that's where Steve Young was looking. He had Jerry Rice if he wanted him quick on that cross.
3rd and 5. Young gets it to Kirby. Kirby is taken down. Depends on where they mark it, whether he's got a first down or not. Brian Walker.
Well, that old 3rd down thing, you know, I've never believed in that, throwing it short of the first down and relying on the running back to make the play for you and the first down, because the other thing you're relying on is poor tackling, and the tackling in this league is pretty good with these nickel defenses now.
If it's not a first down, George Seifert has to make. It is a first down. Never mind. Never mind.
That's about as low. George is shaking that right arm. I mean, he had some combinations up in that right arm he had to shake out of there. It was interesting. Mark Trestman was there. He's there by himself now. The last time we looked, Bill Walsh was standing behind him with some notes.
1st and 10, San Francisco. Young back to throw it. To Jerry Rice.
I think that's the thing that you want. Any time that you need a big play. Jerry Rice is one of the greatest in football. You're going to get it to him. Here he's going to come in across. You see, that's a zone defense. Darrell Green didn't run with him, so it's a zone. And it's a crossing pattern, and that's a pattern that this Redskin defense has had trouble with. Remember last week, the Eagles' Christy Jones was running that same pattern that Jerry Rice
underneath like that. 6 catches for Rice today. That's Owens in motion. Young back to throw. 3 passes. That's Kirby. Kirby out of bounds at about the Redskin 37-yard line. 14-yard gain.
You can tell when a coach goes through, you watch George Seifert go, and he wants to get his team to move, and North Turner, he's trying to get a holding call. He's trying to get anything that he can that'll help his team here.
Right now, his team leads 16-9 with 4 minutes seconds left to play.
And the 49ers will probably get into the red zone, but can they get it in from the red zone?
Rice makes the catch. Good coverage, but a good throw and a good catch by Jerry Rice.
Yeah, that's a great matchup. I mean, two guys that are going to be future Hall of Famers. Jerry Rice, 12 years in the league. Darrell Green out here, 14 years in the league. You know, both maybe two of the hardest workers in all football. Two guys that really enjoy the game and play it like it's supposed to be played.
Amazing thing, neither one of them appear to have lost a step.
And neither one of them look old.
Young got the ball to Floyd. Just barely. Floyd did well to hold on.
Looked like Young did well to hold on.
Yep. Less than 4 minutes. 16-9 Redskins.
I think the 49ers are going to want to slow it down because, you know, if they score, then they don't want the Redskins to have a lot of time either.
First down, San Francisco at the 26 of Washington. Young back to throw. Rick Jones at the 5. It'll be first and goal from there. Darrell Morrison brought him down.
Boy, that was almost a perfect play. It started with pass protection, great pass protection. Then you watch Steve Young just step up and throw the ball. But watch his pass protection here where he has the lane. Watch him. Boom, 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 boom. Look at this big hole to throw in here. Step, find the lane. Brent Jones runs a perfect pattern, and Steve Young gives it right to him.
First and goal at the 5 to tie it up. To about the 1-foot line. Marcus Patton made the stop, but Kirby got down close.
Well, you know what 1 foot equals. 1 foot equals a quarterback sneak.
Yep. Never changes expression. Mark Trestman up in the booth calling the plays down.
This is the thing that you know, if you're going to get the ball this close, this is quarterback sneak area. Steve Young looks like he's going to run a quarterback sneak too, doesn't he? Nope.
Give him to Kirby. And Kirby
should have ran a quarterback sneak.
Doesn't
right.
get in.
You know, but a quarterback sneak, all you have to do is get the ball and fall down, and you're in there. You don't have to run 5 or 6 yards. Here Kirby has to run 5 or 6 yards to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Stevens.
And then you give the defense that time to react, and you're not any closer than you were before the play started.
2-minute warning. Washington leading, 2 minutes left. It's third down, 49ers on the a little bit longer 1-foot line this time.
Yeah, and the 49ers, because it's third down and they need a touchdown, they have 2 downs to get it. So they're thinking in terms of 2 downs to get there.
Touchdown.
And now you say, do you kick the extra point and tie, or do you go for 2 for the win? And there's only 1 play George Seifert has. You kick the extra point.
He didn't waste any time.
Now, that's the thing. That's not a decision. Anytime you're behind, the first thing you do is tie, then you go for the win. Where did Floyd end up? Is he in the stands?
You mean now? Or?
No, bar none. Oh, yeah. He's up in the stands, I think.
The extra point ties it up at 16 with 1 minute and 57 seconds left to play at RFK.
And face mask to give her a kiss. So only a mother would do that.
Ryan Mitchell starts at the 11. The reverse. That's William Bell. And Bell gets out to the 35. He was almost caught. There's William Floyd. There he's taking off the helmet. And there's the kiss. Yeah, you're right. That's got to be Mom.
You bet a player, I'm going to jack them up. Right now, he still has that fire and the drive, and he's a smart, tough player, and it's starting to show.
Some people actually think that you and Howie don't get along well, but they know we do.
Fox
NFL Sunday, next week, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
Bill Walsh has made his way down to the 49er bench.
Yeah, this is the guy that gets the play from Mark Trestman in the booth down to Matt Cavanaugh. He's the guy that talks to Steve Young. So Bill Walsh is getting more and more involved in this 49er team every week.
1st and 10, Redskins at their own 34. They go with 2 tight ends. Perrott back to throw. Outside Henry Ellard. And Ellard gets into 49er territory to about the 46.
Well, Gus Perrott is a cool guy today. This is something that Norv Turner told us yesterday. He said Henry Ellard has to have a big day for us today. And looks like now maybe they're waiting for the end of the game for Henry Ellard to have those big plays.
Perrott has made some great throws.
And he stayed cool. You know, I mean, he really handles the pocket. I mean, he's not a runner. He's not a scrambler. But he really feels very comfortable and looks very comfortable in the pocket.
Who's hit right at the line of scrimmage by Brian Young. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman. The technical producer is Bob Muller. Associate Director Rich Russo. The broadcast associates Mike Roig and Fran Morrison. The studio was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill.
You know, Scott Blanton's longest field goal of his career and of this year is 53 yards. And so I would say to be comfortable, the Redskins need about 15 more yards.
They need at least another first down.
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to get the ball, another first down, get the ball around the 30. The 30 is a 47-yard field goal. Anything inside the 30 is more comfortable in any field goal kicker's range.
I agree.
And I learned from you years and years ago, there's no such thing as an automatic or no such thing as a chip shot.
Not in any kicker's mind.
Well, Bill Walsh is down there. Now, he doesn't have much to do with the defense, but I know that if the 49ers get the ball back, he's going to have something to say.
That one is not his best. Westbrook, the intended receiver.
And there was good coverage over there by Marquez Pope, and I think that maybe, you know, Perrott could have looked at that and thought there's not enough room to get the ball in there.
Maybe.
So instead of trying to force it in there with Marquez Pope so close, he just decided to throw it away.
Maybe. Two of the outstanding coaches in the NFL, Seifert on the left, Norv Turner on the right.
I think George Seifert is probably the most underrated and underappreciated coach in this league.
3 wide receivers.
Well, and Tim McDonald is really mad at someone.
Timeout number 2 for San Francisco.
San Francisco took a timeout. He must not have been satisfied with the personnel he had in or the defense he had in.
Yeah, they didn't get their right defense in, and they had to take a timeout. And the thing is, you know, knowing football, you don't want to waste timeouts on defense because you know that if you get into a situation, you have to save your timeout for your offense.
John Jack Kent Cook, the owner of the Redskins, has been ailing, and he's missing his first game here in 18 years today.
Yeah, and a Washington Redskin game, and the scene has always been so great here with him, and he's the guy that's responsible for it. And so many years of great Redskins. Remember the Hogs and John Riggins and Theismann and Super Bowls and Gibbs and all that fun. It was all because of Jack Kent Cook.
We wish him well. Pass is tipped by McDonald. Intended for Henry Ellard. Brings up 4th down, and here comes the punting team. So we're going to see some overtime unless something drastically quickly happens by the 49ers when they get the ball back. Unless the Redskins have some more tricks.
That was they were trying to get the ball to Henry Ellard there, and you see that he didn't do anything to Drakeford. Drakeford was as close to him as you can be, but the ball, Tim McDonald tipped it before they ever got to Drakeford's coverage.
Here's Turk. Back to punt it. Not much danger of him taking off to run with it. Dexter Carter signals fair catch, makes it at the 10. A minute, 8 seconds remaining. The 49ers have one timeout left. That was a 36-yard punt.
It's going to be interesting now to see Bill Walsh and see if he could stand back. I think that, you know, whatever he was going to say, whatever he had to say, he already said. He said it to Matt Cavanaugh, you know, to get to Mark Trestman. But I think when he was talking to him, I think he was talking about overtime.
Well, you have to think overtime. They got 90 yards to go, one timeout, a minute and 8 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think that Bill Walsh or any offensive geniuses have any big plays for a quick 90 yards.
Young is chased. He gets the ball to Kirby. And Kirby gets down at about the 21. They have one timeout left. Less than a minute left to play.
Steve Young is going to want to take this team as far as he can before he uses that one timeout.
Clock still running. No huddle. Steve Young trying to get things going in a hurry. Lunges outside the 30, about the 32. Clock still running. The Redskin player down. Morrison is the injured Redskin, Darrell Morrison.
Well, the 49ers ought to huddle up now. I mean, you know, because they don't get a lot of chances, and they're just standing around because this is a free timeout for them. And to have their team just standing around isn't very smart. There's Bill Walsh now. He's talking to Bob McKittrick, who's the offensive line coach for the 49ers.
And now George Seifert came out on the field and called Steve Young over to the side.
Yeah, they didn't huddle up or anything when they got this timeout. I mean, this is a good time to be able to, you know, talk over what you want to do.
16-16 tie, 37 seconds left.
And the decision here is being made by George Seifert and Steve Young. There's no headset there.
No, not 37, there's 31 seconds left.
You see, Steve Young started to call timeout. And then watch, he turns and he sees that there's an injury, and he says he doesn't want the timeout. So the 49ers still have one timeout.
The Redskins have two now.
Again, we saw that conversation with Steve Young and George Seifert. Elvis Gerbach was in there, and there was no one with a headset there, so that was, I think, Steve Young doing the talking and maybe doing the decision-making.
Second and about a yard. Seconds left. Ken Harvey hit Young just as he let it go. Floyd fumbled the ball. He went out of bounds after he made the reception.
After a play like that, I don't know. Steve Young is getting up limping now. He's limp. Steve Young's hurt. I think now with this, I would just take a knee here. I mean, there's no need to. You know, maybe try and get the first down, but I think after that, I mean, that was real close to some bad things happening for the 49ers.
Elvis Gerbach is warming up. Steve Young stays. First and 10. 22 seconds left. Young back to throw. Kirby will not get out of bounds. And the clock's going to run, and now Steve Young takes the timeout.
Steve Young didn't know if he's out of bounds, he didn't want the timeout. If he was inbounds, he wanted the timeout. That was a heck of a catch by Kirby, though.
He's made a couple of those one-handed catches.
This is a play before when Steve Young got up limping. I mean, couple bad things almost happened to the 49ers on that play. One, Steve Young almost got it there, and William Floyd almost fumbled it.
16 seconds, first down. Here's Steve Young. Trying to buy some time and gets rid of the ball. He's out of the pocket.
Yeah, he can do that if he's out of the pocket.
But there's a flag.
He can throw it away, but the ball has to go back to the line of scrimmage.
Right.
I think that's what happened. It threw it away. So it's legal to throw it away if you're 2 yards outside the tackle, but it has to go to the line of scrimmage. And I bet you Red Cashin says it didn't go to the line of scrimmage.
And he'd be right. It didn't go to the line of scrimmage. Somehow when Red Cashin's in command, you feel like you're in good hands.
Well, if he gets the jersey straight. I mean, sometimes Red has been known to say, I didn't mean that penalty. It was the wrong jersey.
Well, that was the wrong underwear.
But on this rule here, the ball had to get back to the line of scrimmage or it's a penalty.
The foul is intentional grounding. Number 8, there's 9 seconds left on the clock. We would have run off 10 seconds. That's the end of the regulation game.
You see, here's the box. Now in here, you cannot intentional ground. Now, if you get out here, outside this box, you can intentional ground. But when you do intentional ground, it has to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Okay, now if you look, here's the line of scrimmage right here. It's the line. So now when Steve Young comes back here, he's going to be okay when he starts to scramble. Now he's outside that pocket I just showed, and he can throw the ball there, but he didn't reach the line of scrimmage.
And the flag came down very quickly.
Yeah, and if it happens with less than 10 seconds left to go, then the game is over because they're going to run 10 seconds off the clock.
So the overtime rules, a coin toss determines possession. 1 15-minute quarter. 2 timeouts per team.
We'll have a 3-minute intermission. We'll start another 4th quarter. Each team gets 2 timeouts during that 4th quarter. 2 timeouts. San Francisco, who will call it?
I will.
Please call it while it's in the air.
Tails.
Tails is called. It's tails. Your choice. You want which end will you kick from? San Francisco on the chose to receive.
So the 49ers will get the ball first in overtime.
Now, sideline returns means that whatever side they kick to, they're going to return to that side. I mean, you don't call right or left. You call sideline return. Then if the ball is kicked right, you return it to the right side. The ball's kicked left, you return it to the left side.
And you take it to the house.
You take it to the house, yeah. Look at this. The team went into coin tosses, won 55% of the games this season and 52% of the games all time.
And the home team, in this case Washington, is 6-5 this season.
And you know, the other stat, I mean, we're throwing stats out. This is the 3rd time this year the 49ers have been in an overtime game. We did one of them just a couple weeks ago with the Cowboys, and they lost both those overtime games.
Redskins have lost their only overtime effort.
Well, one of those trends
is going to change.
Will be broken.
Dexter Carter is back deep. A little problem with hanging on to the ball the last couple of kickoffs. This one is a short kick. And he fields it and gets out to the 32-yard line. Patrice Alexander made the stop.
I'll tell you, there have been some of the darndest collisions on special teams that I could remember in a lot of games. I mean, these special teams guys have really been going after each other.
Overtime at RFK. As you heard Red Cashin say, we'll start the 4th quarter again. 2 timeouts for both teams.
I was telling someone when we played a game against Baltimore, I said 6 quarters. The guy said, that's impossible. 6 periods.
Here's Steve Young. Handled for Kirby, and he just...
Did you see what Jerry Kirby did? Yeah.
Smart play.
Yeah, he punched it away. He was afraid that thing was going to be intercepted, and he just punched that ball.
That's a dangerous throw.
I know it, and I think that Steve Young has been making too many of these dangerous throws in that short flat out there. That time, watch what Kirby did. I mean, that ball was coming close to being intercepted.
It certainly was.
That would have been a game ender, too.
Yep.
Danger's looming out in this area for Steve Young.
Second down underneath to Rice. Rice gets the 49ers first down to the 45.
You know, it's that same type of pattern that Jerry Rice had success on earlier. Is he's going to be in here and he's just going to run a crossing pattern. It's the same thing that the Eagles did last week. See, you just start underneath. He always runs right at that umpire, right at the official, and he uses him to shield off some of those defenders. Then and he's working against blockers in here. I mean, he's working against linebackers in here. Then he can make the moves on those guys.
That's his 8th catch of the day, 1st and 10.
Field goal range already. It would be a long one. On one play, they just ran a trap up the middle, and Terry Kirby put him in the field goal range.
At the 29-yard line of the Redskins.
Like I said, he's just going to start here. Boom, just hits this thing right here. You see the hole right there. Just watch how they do it. You see they just man it. The center blocks back. They just caught Boutte was working that way. Jesse Sapolo took him the way that he was working, and Kirby just hit that thing right up the middle. Mark Boutte ran right out of there.
25-yard gain, first down. Here's Kirby again. Got about a yard. Stopped by Rich Owens. Wilkins loosening.
Yeah, we talk about veterans and, you know, and guys that play and enjoy games. How about Jesse Sapolo? And it comes down to who's going to make a block. Jesse Sapolo's been playing for 14 years in this league for the 49ers. The old center there, and get where you need a play. You're in overtime, and he's the guy that makes it for you. The old 14-year veteran, Jesse Sapolo, has been solid as a rock with this club.
All his years with the 49ers. That's Kirby again. Kirby broke a couple of tackles, got down to the Redskin 25. Maybe the 24.
You know, it's interesting now. Here you get to third down. Do you kick the field goal or try the field goal on third down? I think if you were closer, you do.
Yeah, you would.
If anything goes wrong, then you still have fourth down to kick it. But I think out here at the 25, I think that George Seifert and the 49ers would like one more first down.
It would be a 42-yard field goal from here. They'd like to get it more comfortable. And Kirby does that. Down to the 20. As you said before, Kirby is becoming more and more a part of this 49er offense.
Yeah, and he didn't get that first down, so the 49ers are going to have to go for the field goal here. I think they would have liked to have gotten a first down and then take a shot at the end zone before you kick the field goal.
This is going to be 38 yards with Gerbach holding. Jeff Wilkins. Timeout taken by Washington. Wilkins, excuse me, I was just going to say Wilkins' career longer is 48 yards.
You know, Jeff Wilkins is not going to get close to that. What the Redskins do, they, you know, take a timeout to unnerve the kicker. And usually, and we've seen Jeff Wilkins do this before, he's not going to let him unnerve. I mean, he's going to stay back here. All the other guys are up here.
Turn your back to it.
Yeah, turn your back, get away, don't listen. I mean, not only does he not listen to what anyone in the sidelines does, he's not going to listen to what any of the Redskin players have to say. He's not even going to listen to what any of his players have to say.
I think in a situation like this, you don't hear too much anyway.
And you don't want to hear anything.
No. It's a total, I block out everything. .38 yards out. And the 49ers win it in overtime. 19-16. First time they had the ball, they drove it down for Wilkins' field goal. 25-yard run by Terry Kirby set it up. The trip back to San Francisco will be over before you know it.
Hey, that was a heck of a game, though. I mean, it had everything. Those defenses hung in there. The Redskins defense hung in there until overtime, and they just had too many shots at him. Jerry Rice against Darryl Green. What a great matchup that